Self-doubt can be so sneaky and can really get in your way. In this video, I'll share 3 ways to overcome self-doubt and fear so you can shine as your best self and take action to get where you want to go and maybe even align with that flow state where you feel so good and you're doing your best and you're on track to where you want to go. Throughout this video, I will share other videos that can help you on this journey. And towards the end, I'll share 3 questions that can point you towards your next step to conquer self-doubts. Say yes to enjoying your life by subscribing to this channel and look for the bell icon to see future videos. And visit joyfulbeing.com if you yearn to experience more joy. Hi, I'm Kim McIntyre, also known as the Laughter Lady. And this is the Joyful Being with Kim YouTube channel, which is all about helping you to live with less stress and strife and more laughter and joy. If you missed my most recent laughter video, I will leave that link for you in the comments, but be forewarned, laughter is contagious. This video you're watching is about that demon called self-doubt. It's something I'm very familiar with myself. Everything I'm about to share with you in terms of tips and ideas are things I have used myself to conquer self-doubt, and I have helped others to do the same. I will share those tips with you in just a little bit. First, I want to share a true story that I saw on Netflix that beautifully illustrates the journey from self-doubt and being hard on yourself to shifting your mindset to being in that space of joy and flow and being and shining as your best self. There's a show on Netflix I've enjoyed watching called Break Point, which is all about professional tennis players. And it's about their journey, and it's also about their mental journey. And you can see beautifully in this series how, yes, they have an opponent on the other side of the tennis court, but if they've got self-doubt and really harsh self-talk going on in their own head, then they've really got 2 opponents on the court with them. You know, there's the tennis opponent, and then there's the opponent of their own mind. I was very inspired watching the journey of one tennis player called Maria Sakkari. She's from Greece. And she was really struggling with self-doubt, struggling with pressure on herself. And especially through season 1 and a little bit into season 2, you could see how her state of mind, her mindset was unraveling her. She's an amazing, wonderful tennis player, and she was just melting down in these really high pressure moments with really big matches. And so then later on in season 2, you see that she has hired a sports psychologist who has helped her with the mental aspect of the game. And the transformation is amazing. And you can even see it in the words that she uses to describe her process. Instead of talking to herself all about how, I gotta win, and what if I don't win, and all that kind of pressury, oh, I'm not good enough, all that kind of stuff that was in her head, she shifted to a point of view of, saying things to herself like, play free, stay calm, be in the moment. She was looking at it from a point of view of how can I be in the moment and how can I learn and grow from each challenge. So it was a big mindset shift that you got to see her go through. And because of that mindset shift, you got to see her align with her best self and just be in the moment and be this amazing tennis player that she was and is. And you got to see her win a match again, win a championship match again. And it was just this victory of her own mind being there to support her rather than to tear her down. And you could see that she was enjoying tennis again, enjoying the journey and playing and being at her best and being in the flow. And it was like this magical transformation for her. So her story illustrates the tips that I'm going to share with you beautifully. So first of all, she got the support she needed. And in her case, it was a sports psychologist. But your support doesn't have to come from just one place. Support can come from multiple sources: friends, family, teachers, mentors, meetup groups, anywhere where you can find that support that's going to work best for you. And here's the key with that: you want to choose wisely. So you don't want to choose someone who might be tended to fuel your doubts. You want to share with someone who's going to point out that the doubts in your mind are lying to you and give you the love and support you need to see the truth, to see the bigger picture and the truth about yourself. So that's tip number 1, is getting support. And that tip will support you with the other 2 tips I'm about to share. The second tip is to develop a positive mindset, specifically about making mistakes and about feeling fear. Okay, so I saw this in the Netflix special with Maria. She had to come to the peace with the fact that, you know what, if you're out there and you're going for what you want, you're going to make mistakes and you're going to have fear, and you just need to be brave. And so that is important when overcoming self-doubt, is to understand that doubt fuels the wanting to give up because you're afraid to make mistakes. You're afraid of your own fear. And so doubt comes in to say, oh, I can make you doubt yourself, and then you don't have to face any of that. You can just give up altogether. Well, you don't want to give up altogether. If you're on the journey towards going for what you want, whatever it is, especially if it's something new you're learning, something new you're doing, you're going to make mistakes. That is part of the journey. And so if you can have compassion for yourself to make those mistakes, and maybe even celebrate the fact that you're making mistakes because you're moving forward. So the mindset that helps with the mistakes part is that growth mindset, looking at each challenge as an opportunity to learn and grow, so that when you do make a mistake, you go, what did I learn from this? And that helps you to move forward in a new way. The mindset trick that helps with fear is to assess if it's a real danger or not, or if it's just a danger in your own mind. So fear has its purpose to teach you when to truly be afraid, right? So there are actual threats in the world, and you don't want your fear to completely go away because it is there as a warning signal sometimes. But sometimes it's warning you about things that aren't real threats at all. And so just take a step back and say, you know, am I really in danger? Am I safe? What's the truth here? And that's a mindset of assessing what the real dangers are that can help you to deal with fear in a more effective way. And of course, with both the fear and the making mistakes, having compassion for yourself and self-love is super, super important. I have another video about that I will leave the link for you in the video description. It's another piece of that positive mindset for self-doubts and making mistakes and fears and all of it. It helps with all of it. So I will leave that link for you below in the video description. The third tip is to practice being in the present moment. And it is a practice, and it is something you need to just play with, experiment with, and it has 2 purposes really for what we're going to be talking about here. So when you shift your focus from the doubts in your head to whatever's happening in the moment, whatever your senses are experiencing, whatever's going on around you, your breath, whatever helps you bring you into the present moment, that shift in focus away from your doubts interrupts the patterns of your doubts. So that's one way that shifting into the present moment is helpful with self-doubt. The other way that that practice can help is it opens you up to the possibility of being more in the flow and being in that flow state. So if you're used to being all in your head all the time, you may not even know what I'm talking about with the flow state. The flow state is kind of when you're in that space where time flies, right? Time goes, you're just in whatever you're doing, you're really engaged in it, and time just flies. I had that experience this past weekend. I was writing some new things, and as I was writing, time just flew. Like I was totally into what I was doing, and the next thing I knew, many hours had passed, and I had to get ready to go out to dinner. I was like, oh my God, how did it get to be this late in the day already? That feeling of flow really is about trusting yourself, and trust is kind of the opposite of doubt, and being in the moment helps open you up to the possibility of experiencing that flow and that trust. Things can feel effortless. It's like you're still active, you're still doing stuff, but you're kind of relaxed with it, you're flowing with it. It's a different kind of experience of being productive yet relaxed and feeling good. And in that flow state, you really get to be your best without even thinking about it. It's like brings out the innate wonderfulness of you in the moment. And like in that story I was telling you about on Netflix with Maria, the tennis player, you could really see that happen for her. And you could see her just be in that moment with her and her tennis racket and the tennis ball and the opponent on the court, and just there and fully present and doing what her body innately knows how to do. And so you want to have a similar experience as much as you can of being that moment and allowing your innate true self to shine. So if you're not sure how to practice being more in the moment, I have another video that's all about that, dives into that, and I will leave that link in the video description for you, along with all the other video links that I have mentioned. And I really hope you will dive deeper and experiment with all the different things that I've talked about and just see how it feels for you. Keeping in mind that if this is new for you, you're not going to do it perfectly. If you're already familiar with all the tips I've shared and you're experimenting with it, you're still not going to do it perfectly, because as human beings, we're not perfect. But as long as you're focusing on learning and growing and exploring, that's the key. It's about having a mindset of, hey, what am I going to learn today? And so to wrap up, the 3 questions I promised you, and again, these questions are about pointing you towards your next step in conquering self-doubts. These are questions for you to ask yourself. Starting with question number 1. In what area of my life is self-doubt in my way? Now, there might be more than one area that self-doubt is a problem for you. I would say, what area feels doable for you to take a different approach and experiment with a different approach? It helps to start with just one area at a time instead of trying to take everything on in your whole life at once, okay? So that's the first question. What area of my life is self-doubt getting in my way? Question number 2, what support would help with that? The answer may not come to you right away. You just want to sit with that question and see what ideas come to you. Maybe when you're in the shower or walking or driving your car or something, just be open to the question, what support could help me with that? Question number 3 is, what's the first baby step you can take right now? Or very soon, if not right this very minute, like within the next 24 hours or so. What's a baby step you could take? And I'm talking teeny, teeny, tiny steps. So thinking about what support could help you and maybe taking a tiny step in that direction, or watching one of the videos I recommended earlier on in this video that you'll find in the video description. Or it can be anything, but just really teeny, tiny, and small is key. You don't want to try to jump from A to Z. You want to start with that baby step. And starting with baby steps is great because it gives you a win, and then you can move on to the next baby step. Breaking things down into tiny pieces is really helpful. So that's it for this video. Remember, until next time, to keep your sense of humor and keep looking for ways to do more of this.